there, grade 9 students. It is me again, Teacher Ruby. And today we are going to talk about the part 3 of our lesson on determining the relevance and truthfulness of ideas presented in the material viewed. So basically, we are still going to work on determining the relevance and truthfulness of ideas in any materials that we are about to view. So specifically, we are going to talk about the differences between facts and opinions and between main ideas and supporting details. In today's society, we are often bombarded with a lot of information. Most of these are helpful, but there are some which may seem to be misleading or even utterly false. You should take into consideration the correct ways of analyzing or interpreting ideas presented in any material, either viewed or read. So, what are the considerations you need to remember and understand? First, we need to differentiate a fact from an opinion. A fact should be based on observation or research, and it is not debatable since the information is true. For example, COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a newly discovered coronavirus. So when we say facts, these are statements that can be verified. They can be proven true or false. So these are statements that are objective. They contain information, but they don't tell you what the writer thinks or believes about the topic. So for us to be able to identify if the statement is a fact, then we have to ask ourselves, can the statement be proved or demonstrated to be true? Can the statement be observed? Can the statement be verified by witnesses, by manuscripts or documents, or by any forms of research? So if a statement can be proven true, then that is a fact or a factual information. An opinion, on the other hand, is actually your assumption or personal view and is debatable because an opinion is not always true. Okay? Since opinions express a writer's feelings, attitudes, or beliefs, they are neither true nor false. Okay? They hold one person's view about a topic or issue. So my opinion may be different from your opinion. So that is why it is debatable. For example, for me, COVID-19 is enough to make anyone paranoid when in public places. Now ask yourself, can this be proven? There are some judgment words or clues that we could use for us to be able to differentiate easily if the statement is a fact or an opinion. Okay, there are evidences in the text itself that can help us, okay, to differentiate the two. Okay, just remember, a fact that has evidence. It has something that supports. Okay, we can easily verify it in the information that we find in books, as well as by searching online using reliable sources of information. So normally when we state facts, we use the words like according to, okay, the report confirms, scientists have discovered. How about in opinions? In opinions, there are also some judgment words that a writer uses, okay? If a writer uses judgment words like bad, worse, good, better, best, or qualifiers like all, always, likely, never, probably, should, okay? These are clues that will tell you that that information is an opinion or subjective. Let's try to practice, all right? Let's try to locate judgment words in the following statements. Okay, I have here 5 sentences, and all of these are all opinions. Okay, however, there is one word that makes it an opinion. In number 1, purchasing a brand new car is a terrible waste of money. Which do you think is a judgment word here? That is correct. It's the word terrible. How about in number 2? Many wonderful vegetarian cookbooks are available in the bookstores. The judgment word is perfect. It's the word wonderful. How about the number 3? Of all the film version of Victor Hugo's novel Les Miserables, the 1945 version starring Charles Lawton is the best. Actually, in this number, there are 2 possible answers. First is, of course, the use of the word all. It's a qualifier of all the film version. And another answer is the word best, which is another qualifier. How about number four? The introductory biology textbook comes with an amazing CD-ROM. The correct answer is the word amazing. Perfect. And in number five, volunteers for Habitat for Humanity are engaged in a worthwhile activity. The judgment word here is, that's correct, worthwhile. Now, facts and opinions helps us determine how a true statement is. So it's very important that we differentiate fact from opinion. Now we have here a paragraph which is composed of 5 sentences, and this paragraph is a combination, okay, of factual information and the subjective content. So let's differentiate and let's identify which is a fact and which is an opinion. All right, let's start with sentence number one. Flowering plants that are native to the South include purple coneflower and rose verbena. This statement is an example of fact or opinion. That's correct, it's a fact. Sentence number two. In the view of many longtime gardeners, these two plants are an essential part of the southern landscape. In the view of many longtime gardeners, this is an example of, that is correct, opinion. How about sentence number three? Trees that are native to the South include a variety of oaks, as well as flowering dogwoods and redbuds. This is an example of, you are correct, it's a fact. How about the number four? Dogwoods are especially lovely with their white, pink, or coral blossoms announcing the arrival of spring. This is an example of opinion, correct. Last number. For fall color, the deep red of the Virginia willow makes a spectacular show in the native southern garden. This is an example of opinion, correct. Great job, everyone. So now we know how to differentiate the two, right? A fact from an opinion. So another way of understanding an article is to identify its main idea and its important details. So it shows the relationship of the ideas to the theme or the main point of the selection or the text. So what do we mean by main idea? Main idea is the most important thought about the topic. So the topic is the person, place, thing, or idea being written about. So when we say main idea, okay, it is actually composed of the topic and the stand of the writer, the most important thought of the writer about that topic. So the main idea is the big point. It's the most important idea that the writer is communicating to the reader. So often, we can actually find the main idea by just looking at the title. The main idea is like the heart of the text or a paragraph. It is the controlling idea. So all other details in the text or within the paragraph should be connected or should tell us more about the main idea. The main idea of a paragraph is the author's message about the topic. On the other hand, when we say supporting details, these are additional information. Okay, so just like I've told you, everything else in the paragraph should be in support to the main idea. So this explains, define, or prove the main idea stated. So how do we find a main idea? First, we have to find the topic. Just like I've told you, the main idea is composed of the topic and of course the writer's stand or thought about that topic. So we have to find the topic first. You have to read the text and ask yourself, what or who is the article about? Or what does the author want me to know about the topic? Okay. For example, in this paragraph, homeless people have many problems. In winter, it's hard to stay warm and it gets too hot in summer. It's also hard to keep things safe without a home. Worse is the lack of privacy. Now, let's identify the topic in this paragraph. What could be the topic? The author talks about, exactly, it talks about homeless people, right? Now, usually the main idea can be found in the beginning or end of the paragraph, okay, especially if it's a stated main idea. Okay, so the main idea may be stated or implied. When the main idea of a paragraph is stated, it is mostly found in the first sentence of the paragraph, right? However, when the main idea is not found in any sentence of the paragraph, then that's what we call as implied main idea. And when the main idea is implied, then you need to read the entire paragraph and explain the main idea in your own words. So let's go back to the example. Homeless people have many problems. In winter, it's hard to stay warm when it gets too hot. In summer, it's also hard to keep things safe without a home. Worse is the lack of privacy. So we already identified the topic, right? It talks about homeless people. But what about homeless people? What does it say about homeless people? Okay, so this paragraph talks about the problems that homeless people have, right? So it's in the first statement, and that first statement is actually the main idea. Now, supporting details, just like I told you, are ideas that support, okay, explains, illuminates the main idea. Okay, they describe the main idea, they make the main idea stronger and clearer. They prove the value of the main idea. So going back to the same example, as you can see, there are 3 points to support the topic sentence for the main idea. Okay, so we are talking about the problems of homeless people as the main idea. As you can see here, there are 3 problems stated by the author. It's hard to stay warm, especially during winter. It's hard to keep things safe without a home. And number 3, the lack of privacy. Right? So the following statements are the supporting details. Let's take a look at this second paragraph. Mother gorillas do a lot for their babies. They nurse their babies, they protect them from danger, and they teach the tiny gorillas how to get along with other gorillas. What is the paragraph about? Let's find the topic first. Yes, it's about the gorillas, mother gorillas. Now, what about them? What did it say about them? Mother gorillas do a lot for their babies. So that is our main idea. Now, what are the details that describe or reinforce the main idea? If the mother gorillas do a lot about their babies, so what do? They nurse their babies, they protect them from danger, and they teach them how to get along with other gorillas. So the next 3 sentences are all supporting details. One last example. Lenny is an excellent student. She is intelligent, she is responsible, Lenny always does her homework, and she is never late for class. As a result of her hard work, Lenny is one of the best students in school. So let's start with the topic. Our topic is Lenny. We are talking about Lenny. But what about her? That Lenny is an excellent student. So that is our main idea. And the next statement, she is intelligent, she is responsible, and she always does her homework, are all supporting details, which tells us why Lenny is an excellent student. So again, that's the main idea, and that's how we identify supporting details. So we have stated main idea, wherein the subject is clearly identifiable in a sentence, and there is the implied main idea, which is the main idea is not that clear, so we have to dig for it. We have to read the entire selection to figure out what the main idea is. Right? Now let's practice. So I have here 3 questions, and let us all try to identify the main idea. Okay? The rainforest is home to many creatures. Monkeys, toucans, and macaws live in the rainforest. Butterflies and anteaters also live in the rainforest. What is the main idea? Is it A, sloths and tapirs or other creatures that live in the rainforest? B, the rainforest is home to many creatures? Or C, monkeys, toucans, and macaws live in the rainforest? The correct answer is perfect. It's letter B. The rainforest is home to many creatures, and we can find that in the first sentence, right? And then the rest of the sentences talks about all the creatures living in the rainforest. Question number 2. Soccer players learn many skills when playing soccer. Soccer players learn how to dribble and pass the ball. They also learn how to control the ball so they can eventually score. Most importantly, soccer players learn how to work together with their teammates. What is the main idea? A, they also learn how to control the ball so they can eventually score. B, soccer players learn how to dribble. Or C, soccer players learn many skills when playing soccer. The main idea is, you're correct. It's letter C. Soccer players learn many skills when playing soccer. And what are those skills? Dribbling, passing the ball, okay, teamwork, etc. How about question number 3? In question number 3, there are no choices because this time it's an implied main idea. Swimming is one thing that can be done at the beach. Snorkeling is another thing that can be enjoyed. Playing beach volleyball can be a lot of fun. It is also fun to look at shells. Some people simply like to sunbathe. Now, what is the implied main idea? Take a look at the words swimming, snorkeling, beach volleyball, looking for shells, sunbathing. So these are all activities, right, that we can do at the beach, things that we can do at the beach. And take a look at the words enjoy, fun. So the main idea is the fun things we can do at the beach. Now this time, let's go over to the learning task that we have to accomplish for this week. So I have here an article. It's entitled COVID-19 Situation in PH by Jake J. Baderazo. Now, there are 5 sentences or statements taken from this article, and what we're going to do is to identify if the statement is a fact or not. Okay, so we are going to place a check mark if the statement is a fact and a cross mark if it's not. Let's start with number 1. In terms of deaths per million, we are at number 118 out of 219 countries with only 113 deaths per 1 million population. This is a fact or an opinion? That's correct. It's a fact. Read with learning task 2. Look closely at the expressions written on the leaves. Consider which are useful in giving opinion. So basically, you have to tell me which of the words here are judgment words, okay? That will give us a clue that these statements are opinions. Let's start identifying them. We have I wish, okay? Clue is, of course, once you see the personal pronoun I, right? Now, let's read the excerpt below from an inspirational speech delivered by a successful person to students on the topic Knowledge is Wisdom and Wisdom is Wealth. Then, let's answer the questions that follow. Now, which sentence best expresses the main point of the speaker? Is it sentence number 3, sentence number 5, 9, or 11? The correct answer is D, sentence 11. Knowledge gives wealth. So this is learning task 4. In learning task 4, what you need to do is to look for reading materials you have at home. If you have access online, then you could also search for articles or reading materials online. So choose one article that you would like to read. Fill in the graphic organizers with the main idea. So you have to identify the main idea of the article or the paragraph. And of course, you also have to identify the facts and the opinions used in that main idea. And of course, at least provide us 3 supporting details. Okay, so fill in the graphic organizer with the main idea, supporting details, facts, and opinion. Right? So remember, a fact is something that can be proven to be true, something that really happens. It's not debatable since the information is true. Whereas an opinion is what a person believes or thinks about something. Your assumption or personal view is debatable because opinion is not always true. For the last part, you also have to work on the assessment, all right? So you have to identify if the following statements is a fact or an opinion. So all of these statements came from the paragraph that we have just read from Learning Task 3. Moreover, you also have to answer part 2, which is you have to read the selection here and answer the 2 questions that follow. That's a wrap. So remember, using facts and opinions in developing your main point or idea establishes strong support. Knowing the difference will make you a better reader and writer, okay? Because it helps you to understand better. And once you understand better, you get information that you actually need and you became a better student in general. So that's for our session for this day. Thank you so much for listening to this video and I hope to see you next time. Bye.